The car market is completely out of control. Prices are sky high, interest rates are brutal, and millions of Americans are signing up for financial pain they literally can't afford. And even if you're not in the market for a car, this still affects you. I'm gonna tell you how in today's video, and we'll break down what's happening with the car market and what you can do to protect your wallet before the wheels fall off. See what I did there? Little car humor? And make sure you stick around to the end because I'll share my frugal tips for buying a car in 2025. Okay, in case you haven't noticed, car prices are super high right now, and this really started during the pandemic. Factories were shut down, supply chains broke, and suddenly new cars were harder to come by than good Wi-Fi signal at your parents' house. Just call the technician, mom. But dealers jacked up prices, and even the cost of a used car skyrocketed. Like literally, I bought my used Honda Civic back in 2012 for $4,800. But I know this year I could sell it for over $10,000 even though I've used it for the last 5 years. Now I'm not mad, but that still makes zero sense to me. On top of all this craziness, the Federal Reserve slashed interest rates at the beginning of the pandemic to stimulate the economy. So for a while, car prices were higher and car loans were cheaper. So instead of people saving up to pay for cars with cash, a lot of people just turned to auto loans for those low interest rates so that they could buy their overpriced Miata. But once the Fed started raising rates to fight inflation, car loans got way more expensive. We're talking 7%, 8%, and even 10% APRs. But did that stop people from taking out auto loans? No, of course not. We just stretched the loans out longer so it feels like we're still spending less. And now it's not uncommon to see a loan for 72 months. That is 6 years. So if your loan was a human, that loan would be old enough to read by the time you paid it off. Now combine those loans with inflation, rising insurance costs, and stagnant wages, and what do you get? Well, you would be getting a new season of Operation Repo.
Are you kidding me? Kidding me? You're not touching me with that.
Love that show. AKA, there would be a lot of delinquencies, repossessions, and a whole lot of people stuck with a car they can't afford. According to Axios, Americans are behind on car payments at a record level. 6.6% of subprime auto borrowers were at least 60 days past due on their loans as of January 2025. That is not a good sign. So, will prices ever go back down? Or is this just the new normal? Well, we can see now that inventory is piling up on lots and car makers have been laying off thousands of workers, which makes it look like they're in a rough spot. So you might assume prices would start dropping soon. But before you get ahead of yourself, let's not forget about the big orange elephant in the room: tariffs.
I always say tariffs is the most beautiful word to me in the dictionary.
President Trump has imposed 25% automotive tariffs that went into effect on April 3rd. This just makes the whole situation even more unpredictable because these tariffs could be in place for a long time, or they could already be lifted by the time you watch this video. What we do know is that they've already led to higher car prices. And if you're thinking, I'm not in the market for a car right now, so this doesn't really affect me, well, think again. It's not just cars that are affected, it's also car parts that are imported from other countries. And if you didn't know, a 25% tariff on parts is set to begin in early May. So more expensive car parts will lead to higher repair bills, and that doesn't matter if you're in the market for a car or not. Another impact of this is that it will also eventually raise the cost of car insurance, because if insurance companies have to pay more for repairs, they're probably going to pass that price on to the consumer. So just like anything in macroeconomics, tariffs will have a domino effect that unfortunately ends with you paying more. So what do I think is going to happen to the car market this year? The short answer is who knows? But what we do know is this is already bad news for a lot of people. The total cost of owning a vehicle has gone up so much more over the past few years, and a lot of Americans just don't have that much money saved up. According to a survey by Forbes Advisor, more than 1 in 4 Americans, 28%, have savings below $1,000. So obviously, Americans are still turning to auto loans, and it's become a huge problem. According to the New York Fed, at the end of 2024, Americans held a record of $1.66 trillion in auto loan debt. Dealers are pushing longer loans with higher rates and bigger markups, and people are signing anyway because they think it's their only option. And a lot of people don't even know they're making a bad deal. They just want a car. They think they can afford this payment each month, so they sign and end up in a really bad situation. But how bad is it really? Well, it seems like almost every financial YouTuber out there has this video about America's wealth killer. You could watch all of them if you wanted to, but honestly, it just shows that getting car loans is a terrible way to buy a car. For one thing, you end up paying more for the car than it's worth. On top of that, those monthly payments can make your budget feel about as tight as Timothy Chalamet's pants. And according to cars.com, nearly 2/3 of all shoppers have monthly monthly auto loan payments of $600 or more, and 30% of all shoppers now have payments over $800 a month. That is taking away so much margin in your life that you could otherwise be using for saving, investing, and giving. So without being a total Debbie Downer, what is the best frugal way to buy a car in 2025? First of all, if you're not in a state of emergency, avoid loans at all costs. Just save up over time and pay for cars with cash. This will probably mean you'll have to wait a little longer to get a car, but trust me, it will be worth the wait. Second, drive a boring used car. You don't have to drive your dream car right now. That can come later. All you really need is a decent, reliable vehicle that can get you from point A to Chick-fil-A, or whatever your chicken of choice may be. And now when it comes to finding a good deal on a reasonable used car, here are my best 5 frugal tips. 1. Research online. Use websites like Kelley Blue Book to figure out what is a reasonable price in today's market, and look at a car's history using Carfax. They'll give you accident reports, share how many owners there were, and give you a lot of information to help you make a decision. 2. Look at multiple options. Don't just settle for the first deal you come across. When my wife and I were looking for a new used car for her, we took a couple of months of exploring before we landed on our 2017 Toyota Corolla. And throughout the whole process, we were never afraid to say no. No! 3. Talk to private sellers. Private sellers don't have extra overhead to pay for like a dealership. But if you're gonna go this route, make sure you use common sense and maybe bring along a mechanic friend with you to help you inspect the cars. Just a couple years ago, we did find the Toyota Corolla on Facebook Marketplace for $11,000 from a private seller. 4. Negotiate. You'll never know if you can get a discount until you ask. Like I said before, our Toyota was listed for $11K, but we just told them our budget was $10K, but we'd be able to pay them in cash right here and right now, so they just said yes. Because honestly, most sellers just want to make money as quickly as possible. 5. Create a car fund. You don't just save for a car all at once. If you think your car will survive for maybe another year, then plan to save $1,000 a month for the next 12 months so you can have $12,000 to use to buy your next car in cash. If you don't have $1,000 to save per month, start even earlier, maybe 2 years earlier, and save $500 a month. But even once you bought your used, reliable car, still don't forget to set aside a couple $100s a month for repairs and maintenance. That's what my wife and I do to make sure we're not caught off guard when we need new tires, or if we have a little issue with the hood flying up on the interstate. $200 a month to go towards repairs is way better than a $700 car payment plus repairs and maintenance. So even though the car market is crazy right now, there are still things you can do to make your vehicle purchase a smart money move. Let me know in the comments if you have any more tips for saving on cars and vehicle maintenance. And if you haven't already, use the description below to join the Frugal Rich Facebook group for more money saving tips from people just like you and me. And now that you know how to save money on your transportation, check out this next video to see how to save money on food. Give it a click and I'll see you guys over there. Peace.